Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer a website that has sold for a lot of money, and then how to go back and find websites that you can get for really, really cheap. This is Flippa.com, the world's largest website marketplace, and what we're going to look for on this site is simply websites that have sold or are selling for a lot of money. There's millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars of websites that have been sold on this marketplace. So you can come in and look at deals that have taken place over several years to find a lot of websites that have sold for a lot of money. What I'm going to do is just look at what's selling for a lot of money right now. If you want, you can go back here and look at old listings that have sold for money over many years, but I'm just going to look at what's selling hot right now, because if I know that something is selling for a lot of money right now, that means that if I were to have a website right now that was similar, I could probably get a lot of money for it too. All right, so there's this tab here in the top right that says price range, and I'm going to hit high-end websites. We can look at mid-sized websites too, but because I want you to get the most money, let's look at the high-end websites. And we can see that there's a lot of websites here that are selling for 5 and even some for 6 figures. Okay, so I'm going to sort actually by number of bids. And the reason I'm doing this is because if a website has 12 bids, for example, here, 12 bids, and the current price is $80,000, that means that somebody has actually bid $80,000 for this website, meaning it's actually going to sell for a 5, probably a 6-figure payday. You can see there's still 7 days left in this auction. So that site is going to sell for a lot of money, so we can go in and look at what's it doing in order to warrant such a high price. And we can do that with any of these sites. You can see that one's selling by far and away the most amount of money. But here's one for $25,000. Oh, I was wrong. Here's one that has a couple of bids. $200,000 is the price tag. Okay, so there's a lot of these. Another one for $100,000. So anything $10,000 and up to me is a big enough payday to where I know that I'm gonna be able to make a nice lump sum chunk because we're getting sites often for a few $100, or we can get an option on there for a few hundred or a few $1,000s. So if a website is selling for $10,000 or more, I know I'm going to get a nice lump sum payday whether I buy the site myself or I just lock it up with an option. Okay, so let's just take this top example here, refrigeratorpro.com. And this particular website has a whole ton of traffic, and it's also making about $10,000 a month. Now, we could not go out and reproduce a site like this. It'd take a long time to go build a website that made $10,000 a month so that we could flip it here on a place like Flippa. But what we can do is see what they're doing and go try and find a similar website and start the negotiation process for buying the website for cheap. Okay? So this particular website is getting all of its traffic from the search engines. It just ranks all over the search engines. So this is a really good example. So let's take this URL, refrigeratorpro.com, and we're going to go over to our trusted friend, semrush.com. This is the tool that I use the most, and it's free. Punch that in. Now, what I'm looking for here is what keywords this site is ranking for. So we can see it's ranking for a whole heck of a lot of keywords. And SEMrush will give us the top 10 for free. If we want to get more than 10, we got to pay for it. But we can get a nice sniff test here to reverse engineer this campaign from this free listing. So I can see here the number of searches that each keyword gets, what that costs to advertise on. And so let's take one of the bigger keywords, refrigerator reviews. It's in the 10th position. So what I'm going to do to reverse engineer this campaign is I'm going to go back over to Google and search for that keyword, refrigerator reviews, right? Okay. And what I'm going to look for is websites that are ranking for this specific keyword, but don't seem to be making a lot of money, because those are going to be the ones that we're going to be able to scoop up or put an option on for pretty cheap. Now, I avoid the big sites like CNET, I'm not going to go into, or consumerreports.org. I know I'm not going to buy that site. And by the way, Flip Finder, if you have access to that software, will filter out all the big sites for you and just show you the really tiny sites that are going to be really easy for you to scoop up. That's why I use that tool specifically. Let's take a couple of these sites. Now, these might be duds. I haven't looked at these sites, but let's just take a look. I'm going to go onto the second page as well. I like websites that are on the second page of Google, because if they're on the second page, that means they're not fully monetized. It means they're not fully to their potential, which means I can usually get them pretty cheap. Okay. Now, wow, this is one ugly site. That's a good sign, actually. This first one that came up that I found on the second page of Google is refrigeratorreviews.net. And this is actually a really ugly site, which is good if we're going to flip this site, because we're not going to do any of this work, right? We're just going to sell it to somebody who is going to do all the work. So it looks like they just have some articles. They've got advertising here in the top right, and that's where they're trying to make their money. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually a really good example. This website is ranking for some really good keywords like refrigerator reviews, but they're just trying to sell some advertising here. So they're probably not making a whole lot of money, if any at all. So let's punch this into SEMrush and see where it's ranking. Okay, it's not ranking nearly as good as the other site. The other site had SE traffic price of $40,000. This has one of $235. So this one might not even be worth going after. I usually only go after sites that have an SEMrush score of at least 1,000. So this one might not be worth going after because it's not ranking for nearly as many keywords as the other one. Okay, but this type of site is what I would go for. This ugly site that's obviously not monetizing their traffic very well and is just trying to sell some advertising. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, this one looks like this one's way more built out. This is a much bigger site. You can see that it's organized by price. They have user ratings. These are probably affiliate links, so they're probably making a lot more money than the other one. But I'm looking at these links, and they don't look like affiliate links. So I could be wrong. Maybe they're not making any money. Of course, we're not going to know until we actually go in and contact the person. But this is a nice built-out site. I don't know if they're making money or not. All I need to know right now is whether it's worth going after. So let's punch this into SEMrush. Okay, here's a really good sign. This one is ranking for some better keywords, and its SEMrush score is over $9,000 a month. So that traffic is worth $9,000 a month. So I don't know what this site is making. We won't know until we go in and contact this person, which I show you how to do throughout this training. But based on these numbers, the sniff test looks pretty good. So this is ranking pretty well. If it's not making a lot of money, we can lock it up with an option pretty quick and come over and flip it. We can flip it to the people who didn't buy this site, or we could just list this site for sale and sell it for more than we have it on option for and make money in the spread. So again, we won't know until we actually contact this person and lock it up with whatever price we negotiate, but this might be one that was worth pursuing. This is one that I would get really excited about if it's ranking. Okay, this website here, we can see it has no affiliate links. It looks like this is an ad. Yeah, okay, it's an ad. So they have one ad on the site, and look, just a couple of articles. Yeah, that's it. Wow, okay. So this is a really, really small site. If this is ranking for keywords, I'm going to get excited. If not, I'll pass on it. So let's type this into SEMrush. And look, I'm excited. This has an SEMrush score of almost $2,000 a month. It's ranking for the same keyword that we looked at before, which is refrigerator reviews. and some other keywords as well. Actually, a lot of keywords. We can only see the top 10 because this is a free account, but it's ranking for a lot of keywords. And this site is so tiny, it's probably not making any money at all. So if we contact this person and say, I want to buy this for a year's earnings, that might be $12. So we're able to lock this up really, really cheap. This is something that we could probably flip for a really fast, easy payday. Since something similar is selling for tens of thousands of dollars, this one might only sell for a few $1,000s. But if we negotiate a price at $500, I'm happy because I make my wholesale price. Okay, I'm just going to pull up this this last one. This is actually a really pretty site. It looks like they have it built up. Maybe this isn't one that they want to sell. I don't know. We won't know until we contact them. But this, once again, is a review site of refrigerators. Yeah, okay. They're actually an affiliate for these products. They're trying to make money by selling these actual refrigerators. So I'm going to guess that this person's actually making a decent amount of money. So this probably wouldn't be a good buy for us. But just for, of course, again, we're not going to know until we actually contact the person. This only has a SEMrush score of $210, so maybe they're not making much money at all. But that's kind of my sniff test for going in and looking at these sites, reverse engineering the Flippa campaigns. So what we're looking for, again, websites that have sold or are selling for a lot of money on Flippa, we know that there's something there that we're going to be able to make some money if we had a website that was just like it. So how do we get a website that's just like it? Find the keywords it's ranking for, go out and buy similar sites that are smaller, and then we can buy them for much, much cheaper and then flip them. I'm going to show you an example of one that I did, okay? This is an old example, but it's one that I personally did, so I want to show it to you. This website, schoolgrants.org, sold for $80,000 on Flippa.com. So I went in and I reverse engineered the campaign just like this and saw, what's it ranking for? What keywords is this website ranking for? And the one that stood out to me here was school grants. Had a good amount of traffic and people were paying a lot of money to be there. So the actual term school grants. So I went over and I typed in school grants into Google and I found this site. Now the website didn't look like this when I bought it because I bought this site with the intention of growing it and keeping it. I could have just easily flipped it, and that's probably what I'm going to do next. But this website I negotiated using the exact same tactics that you learned in this training for $1,500. What did the competitor sell for? $80,000. So I went in, did this exact same process, found something ranking for the exact same keyword, and bought it for $1,500. And this is a site that makes me money every single month. I could probably sell it for several $1,000s, but right now I'm holding on to the income. So this is something that I do personally. You can reverse engineer the Flippa campaigns to find other sites that are like it but smaller that you can buy or lock up with an option and flip for a really fast lump sum payday. You just find the site, you take the email templates that I give you in the PDF, and then you can lock it up with an option. You have access to the option inside this training, and then you go and you turn around and you sell it to a buyer's list, or you sell it on Flippa, and you make money on the spread between the money that you paid and the money that you're getting paid when you flip the site. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful on how to find websites that are selling for a lot of money on Flippa and reverse engineering them so you can find similar sites that you can flip for lump sum paydays.